Hello and welcome to I've Seen Everything, where the name is ironic and the reactions are... Today we have a special one, a significant one, dare I say, a classic. And yet another favorite reaction on this channel. I have seen this movie, but like all of you, I love this movie, and it won the poll. Forrest Gump. 1994, Tom Hanks, Robin Wright, Gary Sinise, Sally Field, Mykelti Williamson, Haley Joel Osment, very young. I have a feeling that of all the many movies Tom Hanks has done over the course of his career, at this point, this may be one of the ones he's the best known for. It is one of the few movies I've seen on all the reaction channels I've watched that still gets everybody to cry, no matter how old it is. It's just a very well-made movie. Almost everyone I've ever seen watch it comes away loving it. I haven't seen it myself all the way through in quite a while, but this is one that I've seen a number of times over the years. I saw this movie in the theater. This is one of those that the whole family went and saw together, and we loved it. It was great. What do I know about Forrest Gump? What don't I know about Forrest Gump? This is a heartwarming movie in many ways. It is a difficult movie at different parts. It also is an interesting thing that kind of falls into historical fiction in a way. It's not historical fiction in the way that they put you down with a fictional character in the middle of one historical event and you explore that. That's kind of like what Titanic was. This puts you down in the middle of multiple historical events with the fictional character of Forrest Gump. It seems like he is our tour guide to all kinds of historical events through the 60s, 70s, 80s, even back to the 50s when he was a kid. So let's get moving. Let's watch Forrest Gump. Before we do, wanted to go ahead and make sure to tell you to go have a look at the Patreon. The full-length reaction to this movie will be available over on the Patreon. There's other full-length reactions to movies over there. There's exclusive full-length reactions over there to TV shows we're watching. Right now, as of the recording of this video, we're watching Interview with the Vampire Season 2 and Game of Thrones Season 1 over there. All kinds of good stuff to see over there. I hope you'll stop by and check it out. Everything over on the Patreon is free for the first week after it's posted, and then it goes into its Patreon tiers. So be sure to go over there and have a look. And if you'd be so kind, please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button over here. Click the bell so you can see when I'm putting out new videos. And that is it, folks. That is all there is to say before we go ahead and watch Forrest Gump. Here we go. We are coming in on a feather, as it always begins, folks. When we see this feather again, we're going to have been on a journey. You know it. I know it. I think the feather might know it. It's interesting, if you've seen this movie, all the things you pick up on this time around. His dirty shoes. You understand what that's about now. And who would have thought that the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company would actually, they'd have restaurants and people would have those hats. I don't know if there's other, actual real world, businesses created like that for movies. Probably. I didn't notice that before. The bus that just went by had a car ad that specifically said 1981 on it.
My name's Forrest Gump. Do you want a chocolate?
Back in the days when you might accept random chocolates from a guy sitting on a bench.
I bet you could walk all day in shoes like that and not feel a thing.
I know what we're doing, but it's like, Forrest, she just wants to read her magazine.
Mom always said there's an awful lot you can tell about a person by their shoes. Where they going, where they been. I've worn lots of shoes.
This is quite a different setup for a movie told in flashbacks, too, because we're not starting from the end and looking back. There's still more story to go once he catches up to where he is right now.
They was my magic shoes.
All right, Forrest.
Back in the days when a doctor would just be casually smoking when you went to go for your doctor's visit.
We're going to straighten him right up now, aren't we, Forrest?
It's going to take him a bit to get used to those, I imagine.
Haven't you ever seen a little boy with braces on his legs before?
Sally Field did such a great job in this movie, too.
God intended everybody to be the same. He'd have given us all braces on our legs.
That is an interesting way to look at it. It seems like maybe nobody would have to have them, but I get her point.
What I told you, Forrest, you're no different than anybody else is.
Yeah. I think that was the thing that bothered me about getting his name from there, is that his mom is such a nice person, a caring person.
Your boy's different, Ms. Gump.
Well, we're all different.
I was about to say, I don't remember if she ever gave an explanation as to where his father is.
The state requires a minimum IQ of 80 to attend public school.
Didn't they find out that IQs are like pseudoscience anyway? That's not a real metric.
There must be something can be done.
It's the beginning of a scummy interaction.
Is that Mr. Gump? Mrs. Gump?
He's on vacation.
I get the feeling he's been on vacation for a long time. Maybe he just ran out on him.
Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son. You don't say much, do you?
Is the best possible comeback. It's still great. It's the best possible comeback to that jerk.
What's vacation mean?
Vacation's when you go somewhere and you don't ever come back.
Yeah, that's hard. He did run out on him. So the house is her family's, from what I understand. Then I think that's what they said.
One time, a young man was staying with us, and he had him a guitar case.
I love how adult Forrest still doesn't know who Elvis is. Like, he didn't put two and two together there. And Forrest apparently came up with the move.
I was just showing him a thing or two on the guitar here.
Supper's ready if y'all want to eat.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you, ma'am.
You know, it's not too far off, especially from when Elvis was starting out, as far as traveling around, staying in, like, you know, smaller places like this.
Me and Mama was out shopping, and guess what?
Imagine that. Imagine you have some young musician come stay at your boarding house.
It's not for children's eyes.
Or maybe she didn't even recognize him, but I think you see him on TV on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Had himself a heart attack. Must be hard being a king.
Oh, so he did know who Elvis was. He just chose to phrase it that way.
I'm Forrest Gump.
Dorothy Harry.
Now we ain't strangers anymore.
That is correct for us. Nicely done. Way to find a loophole around your mother's rules.
Plates taken.
Yeah, school buses can be brutal places. Just gonna end up standing in the back.
I do remember the first time I heard the sweetest voice in the wide world.
You can sit here if you want.
Wow. Imagine that. Imagine a life with someone that you eventually live a whole life with, at least partially, that you've known since that you were that young. It's crazy.
From that day on, we was always together. Jenny and me was like peas and carrots.
What that means is Jenny didn't have any other friends either. I wonder why. She had trouble making friends with other kids.
Just stay a little longer.
For some reason, Jenny didn't ever want to go home.
Yeah, for some reason. Horrible, horrible reason.
Hey, dummy! Are you retarded?
Idiots are throwing rocks. Like legit rocks. That's how you straight up kill somebody.
Run, Forrest, run!
Yeah, little boys can be pretty terrible. Not that I have experience or anything. I like how we don't need an explanation for this. His legs just suddenly work. And this kind of amazing shot of the corrective shoes just breaking apart off of him. So we go from him needing not only needing corrective shoes, but to being able to run so fast that he's outrunning bikes. But who cares? Great moment. There are some moments where logic doesn't matter.
Jenny?
He was a very loving man. He was always kissing and touching her and her sisters.
The fact that he still doesn't understand what was going on, and that's how he characterizes it. Her father was a loving man.
Come on!
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Horrible. Absolutely horrible.
He didn't turn Jenny into a bird that day. He had the police say Jenny didn't have to stay in that house no more.
At least the abuse stopped. I'm sure she didn't even care it was a trailer, just happy to be somewhere safe.
Run, Forrest, run!
Yeah, he's going to struggle to outrun a truck. Which is... Let's not gloss past the horrifying fact that they're trying to run him down, which is attempted murder.
I ran to get where I was going. I never thought it would take me anywhere.
That's just good writing there. You got to give it to him on that. Boom. Forrest Gump, the master of the sharp turns. Yeah. That'll get you attention. He's outrunning your receivers. That was the right turn to make at the right moment. It's like a Karate Kid wax on, wax off type thing. He even learned how to run away from defensive players. Although they are having to direct him quite a bit. Oh, tough break for the band.
College was very confusing times.
One touchdown. That's all Forrest has got. He's going to the showers.
Integrated the University of Alabama today, but only after Governor George.
I love that they insert him into moments like this.
And they want to go to school with us.
With us? They do?
Shortly after Governor...
And that he doesn't even understand their racism, which he shouldn't because it's stupid. Just always stick him in there like his head hanging like next to somebody.
Jimmy Hood and Vivian Malone had been signed up.
Perfect.
Ma'am, you dropped your book.
Absolutely love that they had him just go out to give her a book, not even caring, not understanding.
Angry little man at the schoolhouse door ran for president.
See, these are even moments I didn't know that much about. I mean, tensions were high enough for sure. I didn't know there was an assassination attempt.
Jenny went to a college I couldn't go to. It was a college just for girls.
I like how he's handing off from one listener to another. She wasn't there at the beginning, but she's now picked up where the other lady had to leave. Does not understand what's happening. Thinks she must be getting attacked. That's not a great way for your date to end.
Who you gonna be?
I don't know how she thinks she's not going to wake up her roommate. Or maybe she didn't care.
I want to be a singer like Joan Baez. On an empty stage with my guitar, my voice. I want to be able to say things.
Does she know what she's doing right now, or is she just not paying attention? She's just kind of lost in her story.
Have you ever been with a girl, Forrest?
I sit next to them in my home economics class all the time.
Hey, fair enough, Forrest. He answered her honestly. Danger, danger. We haven't prepared for this. He looks so panicked. Yeah, he was not equipped for that at all. One of the things I do like some people might take offense to something like that. She knows him well enough to know he was just overwhelmed.
But that never happened in home ec.
No.
The horrified roommate. I also don't think I picked up that ruining your roommate's bathrobe thing before. So things went a little further than I expected.
Now, the really good thing about meeting the president is the food. I must have drank me about 15 Dr. Peppers.
I mean, hey, I like soda. Probably too much sometimes, but I can't imagine standing there drinking 15 of any soda.
Congratulations. How do you feel? I gotta pee. He said he had to go pee.
You know, it's not bad. You can definitely tell, but at least by modern standards, but the effects for the time period, certainly not bad at all.
Sometime later, for no particular reason.
Signed picture of Marilyn right there in the bathroom.
Congratulations, son. Have you given any thought to your future?
Wow. They had recruiters right there at graduation.
Get your on the bus. You're in the Army now.
Well, that'll, start people off on the right foot.
Sit down if you want to.
You know, Forrest has an interesting habit of meeting his best friends on buses.
I've been working on shrimp boats all my life. I was just looking into buying a boat of my own and got drafted. People call me Bubba.
So, Bubba got drafted, but Forrest signed up voluntarily because he didn't know what to do after college.
Go! What's your sole purpose in this army?
To do whatever you tell me, Drill Sergeant.
God damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius.
I love their whole interaction through this entire training. It's funny hearing a drill sergeant give you forceful compliments. Apparently, Forrest does well when someone gives him a set of rules to follow.
Drill Sergeant!
It's another good one.
Put that weapon together so quickly, go. Jesus H. Christ. If it wouldn't be a waste of such a damn fine enlisted men, I'd recommend you for OCS, Private Gump. You are going to be a general someday, Gump. Now, disassemble your weapon and continue.
He still has the angry tone, but Forrest is so good at what he's doing, he can't be angry with him. Angry compliments.
Sauteed. There's shrimp kebabs.
And Bubba, on the other hand, just goes real slow and talks about shrimp.
There's pineapple shrimp, coconut shrimp, shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp sandwich. That's about it.
Forrest is very patient to listen to Bubba go on about shrimp for days, it appeared.
Jenny had gotten into some trouble over some photos of her and
Trying to make money, I guess, to go out on the road, start performing.
Hollywood, California, Bobby Dylan.
Created a whole alternate persona for herself.
Before you can call him a man.
her dream had come true.
Not quite, Forrest. Don't imagine that she envisioned it this way.
I've got something here for you. Damn it!
I wonder if this is different than what her show is most other nights. Don't touch Jenny in front of Forrest. Although he is a bit overzealous sometimes, for sure.
You can't keep doing this all the time.
Can't help it. I love you.
You don't know what love is.
I don't think that's true. I think he knows pretty well what love is. It's ironic because I don't think she knows what love is.
Can I ride?
Where you going?
I don't care.
It's a pretty easy sell. I don't care where you're taking me.
They sending me to Vietnam. It's this whole other country.
Yeah, it is, and there's a bunch of horrible stuff going on over there.
Listen, you promise me something, okay? Just if you're ever in trouble, don't try to be brave. You just run, okay? Just run away.
Okay.
That has to be hard. I mean, she's kind of still out of it enough that I'm sure she's not thinking about it that much right then, but that could have very easily been the last time she'd ever see him. She has to be scared too.
You come back safe to me. Do you hear?
Just a little bit on that one. Just a little bit. Can't play this song on the video, or at least on the YouTube edit.
All the beer cans and barbecue, it was.
Yeah, they did have some downtime when they weren't, marching through the jungles.
We can get American swimmers to come out here and swim these waters.
Bubba thinks they're going to shrimp the waters of Vietnam.
Morning, sir.
Oh, get your hands down. Do not salute.
I'm pretty sure that is the first time I saw Gary Sinise in anything.
Where are you boys from in the world?
Alabama, sir.
You twins?
Yep, got it, Lieutenant Dan.
Somebody in his family had fought and died in every single American war.
It's a strange destiny to have, to die in war like your ancestors have.
Try not to do anything stupid like getting yourself killed.
That would be pretty stupid. Should try to avoid that if you can.
I sure hope I don't let him down.
Forrest gets himself killed. Last thought is, damn, I let Lieutenant Dan down.
I'm gonna lean up against you. You just lean right back against me. This way we don't have to sleep with our heads in the mud.
It's pretty solid logic, Bubba. There's not a lot of places to sit against out there.
How would you like to go into the shrimping business with me?
Okay.
I got it all figured out, too. So many pounds of shrimp to pay off the boat, so many pounds for gas. We can just live right on the boat.
Hey, Bubba's got it all worked out. I wonder if Forrest ended up with that plan of Bubba's after, well, but like if he actually went along Bubba's plan. I can't remember.
And then the sun come out.
The moment they get some good weather. Man, they were ready. It's one thing that they do pretty well in more modern war movies, like the late 20th century on, is to show just how out of nowhere it can all go to hell. They are in a bad place. Get out of there while you still can.
Pretty soon, I was all by myself.
Yeah.
Bubba.
The moment they're running faster than everyone might not be the best thing. I mean, for him, but...
And on my way back to find Bubba, well, that was this boy laying on the ground.
That's the other thing, though. Looking for Bubba, he ends up pulling quite a few people out of the jungle. Saved a number of people's lives. 2, 3. I haven't counted before. I don't remember how many people he pulls out.
Damn platoon is wiped out.
Lieutenant Dan is number 4.
God, I said leave me here, God damn it.
It makes you wonder what Lieutenant Dan's life must have been like leading up to this, for him to want that to be how things ended for him.
I didn't ask you to pull me out of there, goddamn you. Don't you stay here, goddammit, that's an order. I gotta find Bubba!
It looks like the 4 people he pulled out are the only ones who made it so far. Forrest is the only one who actually didn't get seriously injured. Oh, Bubba.
Okay, Forrest.
Oh, Bubba, no.
Yeah, he's not. That vacant look in his eyes, he's trying to tell Forrest he's okay.
Why did this happen?
got shot. Then Bubba said something I won't ever forget.
I want to go home.
And that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, what else do you say, Forrest? What else do you say about something like that?
Yes, sir. Bit me directly in the buttocks.
And they immediately go to a comedic thing like this. Forrest getting shot in the butt.
Is it ice cream?
And this. His butt bandaged up and he's eating all the ice cream.
Lieutenant Dan, ice cream.
Lieutenant Dan is not doing well. He is, he's dealing with a very difficult set of circumstances, physically and mentally. Lieutenant Dan's story does go to show you, though, you don't know what your life is going to be, and you don't know the wonderful things that could happen that you don't expect. That is unfortunate that Jenny didn't get any of his letters. The whole time he was there, I'm sure that was one of the things he was holding on to.
Never take your eye off the ball.
Forrest is good at following rules.
For some reason, ping pong came very natural to me.
He's just immediately good at it.
Even when I didn't have anyone to play ping pong with.
That's some incredible accuracy. I mean, I know that had to have been someone much better at ping pong on the other side of the shot there.
I had a destiny. I was supposed to die in the field with honor, and you cheated me out of it.
Imagine thinking that that's all there was to your life, was that you were going to go off to a war at some point and die nobly in battle, but that was it. That's all there is to you. And now you're resentful of the fact that you get to keep living, albeit with a huge challenge, but think you have no value left.
I was Lieutenant Dan Taylor.
You still Lieutenant Dan.
Yes, he is. Forrest says some of the simplest yet most profound things, even though sometimes people aren't ready to hear them.
Look at me. What am I gonna do now?
It is a good question, but there is an answer.
Where were you hit? In the buttocks. I'd like to see that.
That probably is not going to fly with the censors on television in the 60s.
Because the streets was awful crowded with people.
He's always just in the right place or the wrong place at the right time.
He liked to say the F word a lot.
I mean, who among us doesn't? It's good for you. Gets your heart going in the morning. I mean, you gotta give Forrest credit. He's clearly has no idea what's happening. He's good at just improvising in a situation.
There was only one thing I could say about the war in Vietnam.
Well, there's only one thing I could say about the war in Vietnam.
Present day, when he's telling the story, and in the past, there's no change how he phrases things.
Goddamn pointer!
What do you think? I mean, I guess he kept Forrest from giving his speech, but other than that, you think they're not gonna? I don't know what he was trying to accomplish, but.
That's it.
That's all I have to say about that.
That was plenty for us. More than enough. I mean, you move this guy. You can't even say the F word anymore.
My name is Forrest Gump.
Jenny!
Of course she's there. And of course that's how they'd meet up again. No thought about it at all. Just right out in the water. That's a great moment.
And even introduced me to some of her new friends.
Shut that blonde man.
Hey man, he's cool. He's cool. He's one of us.
Let me tell you about us.
Yeah, I don't know how Jenny didn't know that they might not take so kindly to somebody who just came back from the war coming into their headquarters. They'd probably be a little antsy about that.
Brutalized and killed.
I don't know if he's listening to you. He was paying attention to something else. Yeah, you should have kept your hands to yourself, buddy. Only met that guy a few seconds ago, and I'm already not feeling bad for him.
Come on, Forrest.
Sorry I had a fight in the middle of your Black Panther party.
In the middle of the whole party. But again, Forrest is our tour guide through all these different important parts of history. At least a little bit. A couple moments here and there.
I'm glad we were here together in our nation's capital.
They went down very different roads to get there. That's for sure.
Jenny?
This jerk again.
Things got a little out of hand.
A little out of hand.
It would never hurt you. You know that.
He very much did. It's exactly what he did.
I think you should go home to Greenbow, Alabama.
I always love that line.
Forrest, have very different lives, you know.
Yeah, but you know you're doing the wrong thing. I mean, it's amazing how much Jenny will put up with bad guys. She apparently doesn't know how people are supposed to treat her.
I want you to have this.
Forrest, I can't keep this.
Even though she has someone right in front of her treating her very, very well whenever they're together.
I got it just by doing what you told me to do.
Why are you so good to me?
You're my girl.
I'll always be your girl.
There's this whole thing, especially when I've seen other people watch this movie, about Jenny and what she does to Forrest. And it's true. Jenny has responsibility for how she treats Forrest and leaves him behind and all that kind of stuff. It's not fair. But she's constantly battling this thing. And you can tell by the horrible guys she puts up with that she doesn't think she deserves somebody like Forrest. She doesn't think she deserves somebody who genuinely loves her. So she continues to not only put up with, but kind of seek out bad treatment from people.
They decided the best way was to play ping pong. Some years later, the Army decided that I should be on the All-America ping pong team.
To be playing against somebody that's just as good as you are, it looks like. That could be a long match.
Lieutenant Dan!
They gave you the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Why would they should have given him the Medal of Honor too? I'd imagine. Maybe not.
Yes, sir, they surely did.
Well, that's just perfect.
You know, I don't know why, but I get the feeling he's not happy for him. Lieutenant Dan has had a rough time, and he's still having a rough time.
Lieutenant Dan!
It's almost funny.
If I accept Jesus into my heart, I'll get to walk beside him in the kingdom of heaven. Hear what I said. Walk.
Yeah, he is just living in an alcohol-fueled rage. An alcohol-fueled rage is what I was attempting to say.
I gotta buy me one of them shrimp boats as soon as I have some money.
Bubba's not here to talk about shrimping, so Forrest is going to talk about shrimping.
Our shrimp boat captain. Yes, sir. A promise is a promise, Lieutenant Dan.
Well, the promise was to go into shrimping together, but you go for it, Forrest.
The day that you are a shrimp boat captain, I will come and be your first mate.
I'm surprised that he remembers this promise. A drunken promise he made on New Year's Eve years before.
Don't you just love New Year's? Everybody gets a second chance.
I began to think about Jenny.
Whenever Forrest has time for his mind to wander, it seems like he thinks about Jenny. And then we get a peek into what's going on in her life. And unfortunately, it's not usually very good. I mean, it seems like she's getting out of a bad situation, but it's not great to see that she was in one to begin with. The 1,000-yard stare. I guess when he sobers up, the bad things come back in again. That's why you don't sober up.
Oh, what are you, stupid or something?
Yeah, if he doesn't want you jumping his bones, I imagine there's got to be something wrong with him.
Don't you ever call him stupid. Get out of here.
Luther, you freak!
Well, they seem very nice. I mean, Lieutenant Dan seems like he's not the greatest person all the time either, but he did stick up for Forrest.
I'm sorry I ruined your New Year's Eve party, Lieutenant Dan.
Happy New Year, Gump.
Lieutenant Dan is in a pretty low place. Hopefully just to get better from here.
They invited me and the ping pong team to visit the White House, and I met the President of the United States again.
To be bored or blasé about meeting the President of the United States because it's the third time it's happened.
I know of a much nicer hotel. It's brand new, very modern.
So what we're getting from this is it's really Nixon's fault because Forrest wouldn't have even been there.
The lights are off and they must be looking for a fuse box or something because them flashlights, they're keeping me awake.
So Forrest called in the Watergate tip. Of course he did.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Yeah, you wish you left him at his hotel, didn't you? Should have left well enough alone.
I have your discharge papers. Service is up, son.
Does this mean I can't play ping pong no more?
For the Army, it does.
Someone just handed him a ping pong paddle and a ball at one point and said, "Here, give this a try." And he just never stopped.
I'm home, Mama.
No.
Thanks for announcing it, Forrest. Might have been confused otherwise.
Mama had all sorts of visitors.
We've had all sorts of visitors, Forrest.
That's the first time he did it with another person. They keep hitting that thing where the narration exactly matches the line the person's about to say.
Oh, but Mama, I only like using my own paddle.
I know that.
But it's $25,000 for it.
I guess I never paid attention. They want to market a table tennis set with Forrest Gump and the Chinese leader on it.
I'd made a promise to Bubba, so I went on down to Biola Battery to meet Bubba's family.
Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
I mean, who wouldn't be suspicious? Some random guy showed up and said he knew your son and was going to go into the shrimping business in his honor.
Hey, Bubba, I remember everything you said.
Bubba probably wrote back home to his mama about Forrest, I imagine.
Are you stupid or something? Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
Everyone thinks he's stupid. No, he is not. Forrest is just honest and determined.
Putting all that on gas, ropes, new nets, brand new shrimping boat.
He says it like he's revealing it to somebody who's going to be surprised. Might not get quite the reaction you're hoping for there, Forrest, but still, it's a thought that counts. It's a bit daunting to go out there to try to do something like this where you don't know anything.
Shrimping is tough.
Only caught 5. A couple of more, you could have yourself a cocktail.
It's not even know about shrimping. He doesn't know about operating a boat, living on a boat, any of it.
You ever think about naming this old boat? It's bad luck to have a boat without a name. The most beautiful name in the wide world.
I mean, it's a nice sentiment, but like, there's only kind of one note that Forrest keeps hitting. Jenny, Jenny, Jenny.
And I hope that whatever she was doing made her happy.
Yeah, I don't think happy, Forrest. I think she's in about the most terrible spot she's been in. Not a great song to be listening to when you're in a desperate emotional state. She is so lucky. She's lucky that that moment did it. She could have fallen off of there so easily and it would have been all over. Yeah, get the hell out of there. Time to do something else. Something better. Just leave the boat. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. Boat just, continues on by itself. What could happen?
Thought I'd try out my sea legs. Well, you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Forrest, not now. Come on. You know what he meant.
I told you I'd be your first mate. I am a man of my word.
He looks like he's doing a bit better. He got himself down there. All right. Now that's funny on its own.
It's my boat.
But let's also not ignore the fact that the boat apparently turned itself around to be headed that direction.
Take a left! Which way? Over there! They're over there!
Yeah, he really seems to know what he's talking about, doesn't he? Let's see. Neither one of them have any history shrimping, any experience.
That's where we're gonna find those shrimp, my boy!
Yeah, sounds like you're making this up, Lieutenant Dan. Found a toilet seat.
You should just pray for shrimp.
If you tell Forrest to pray for shrimp, I mean, he's gonna take you literally.
Where the hell's this God of yours?
Right then, God showed up.
I mean, there's your answer, Lieutenant Dan. And he feels challenged by you, apparently.
Lieutenant Dan, he was mad.
Yeah, a madman screaming into the storm. Forrest is down there like, no, don't come and get him. Don't come and get him.
In fact, only one shrimping boat actually survived the storm.
Louise.
Can you imagine having that be your son? You watch the wreckage from a disastrous storm. Your son goes floating by on his boat.
We were the only boat left standing. Bubba Gump shrimp's what they got.
So God sent a storm that took out the rest of the shrimping industry and made you a millionaire. That's quite a turn of events, Forrest.
Boy, I heard some whoppers in my time. We were sitting next to a millionaire.
I mean, I don't think Forrest lies about pretty much anything, so I guess millionaires don't take the bus.
Would you like to see what Lieutenant Dan looks like?
She thinks she's humoring him. Nope.
That's him right there.
He was telling the complete truth.
Forrest, I never thanked you for saving my life.
No, and that's about as close as you get. I've watched so many reactions where he does this. And people are like, oh my God, what is he doing? Like, that's it. No more Lieutenant Dan. No.
He never actually said so, but I think he made his peace with God.
Yeah, or at least the horrible things he was battling in his head. PTSD. Saved him, really. Letting him be part of this thing, giving him a purpose.
Call him back.
That's all you got to hear. Mama's sick. Which direction's home? Boom, in the water. Forrest doesn't play around. His mother could have had a cold. No, they wouldn't have called him for that.
Where's Mama?
This is a hard one, too.
Hi, Forrest.
sure got you straightened out, didn't we, boy?
Guy who gave him the corrective shoes. Not smoking a cigarette this time.
What's the matter, Mama?
I'm dying, Forrest. Come on in, sit down over here.
That's a blunt but sympathetic way to put it. I'm sure she's scared for him because she knows he doesn't know how to handle something like this.
Why are you dying, Mama?
It's my time. Don't you be afraid, sweetheart.
You know, she doesn't get a lot in this movie, but she really kills the stuff that she gets. So good.
What's my destiny, Mom?
Life is a box of chocolates, Forrest. You never know what you're gonna get.
Now, when he said earlier that she said that, he didn't say it. Well, I guess she said it other times too. But
I will miss you, Forrest.
She had got the cancer and died on a Tuesday.
we didn't know that's when we were going to hear his mama say that, was when she was trying to make him okay with her death.
Saying we don't have to worry about money no more. One less thing.
Yeah, money. That's just, one less thing. Invest in a fruit company.
I gave Bubba's mama Bubba's share.
Jeez. That is a big change to someone's life. No, Bubba's mama's rich now.
And the house was all empty. I'd always think of Jenny.
Yeah. It's the one thing he wants back in his life, and he doesn't have. The one person. Especially, I'm sure he feels like he needs her even more now, because his mama's gone. And then she was there.
Then she was there.
Hello, Forrest.
Hello, Jenny.
Jenny finally hit hard enough times. She realized she needed to change something. Went back to the one person she knows cared about her. I wish she'd stayed.
Jenny came back and stayed with me. Maybe it was because she was so tired because she went to bed and slept.
Yeah. Jenny's been leading a hard life. I'm sure she's got some catching up on her sleep to do. Yeah, it's hard to believe they'd have found their way back there by accident. She hasn't been back there since she was a little girl, since before they took her to live with her grandma. This is where all the horrible things in her life started. Yeah, pain doesn't have to make sense in moments like this. Forrest still doesn't really understand what happened to her. She knows he cares about her, but he doesn't know what's wrong.
Sometimes I guess there just aren't enough rocks.
Very true, Forrest. That would have been perfect if he just started bringing her more rocks.
Times. She gave me the best gift.
It's really interesting to see people watch this sequence and how they interpret it. What I see, especially with what just happened with Jenny with the house, and now all of this, I see Jenny trying really hard to be happy, to try to find a way to let herself be happy, finally, for once. And she gets really close, but ultimately still goes sideways somewhere.
Will you marry me?
And he doesn't want to be without her anymore.
I'd make a good husband.
You don't want to marry me.
Not, I don't want to marry you, you don't want to marry me.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
She does love him. She knows that she's hurting him by keeping him at this distance. She doesn't feel like she deserves him, and she doesn't feel like she deserves to be happy.
Jenny.
Forrest, I do love you.
So they finally do something. They come together in the closest possible way that they've ever come together, and then it freaks her out. Can't handle it. And when Jenny can't handle it, she runs. This is the part where the criticism is fair.
Are you running off to?
I'm not running.
She says she's not running, which is exactly what she's doing. She's also not paying attention to what she's doing to him every time she comes into his life and then leaves again. And then he's alone again. Which, in one respect, kind of makes what happens next make a lot of sense. All these shots of him sitting in a quiet house. And then, no, I don't think I want to sit in a quiet house anymore. And she got him the shoes. Let's go test these suckers out. Now, the thing I find interesting is I don't know exactly how far he ends up running in these shoes.
That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run.
But the fact that they didn't fall off of his feet before he got to that bench waiting for that bus, that's an endorsement of the quality of Nike shoes, I'll tell you that.
Maybe I just run across Greenbow County.
Yeah, as you do. Just run across a whole county.
Maybe I just run across the great state of Alabama.
Sure. I mean, it's right there. You gotta.
For no particular reason, I just kept on going. I ran clear to the ocean.
Yeah, we skipped some things. You ran across Alabama. All of a sudden we're in California.
might as well turn around.
Hey, turn right around. You got all the road in front of you need.
I figured since I've gone this far, I might as well just turn back.
I wonder if they've ever talked to runners to see if this is actually possible. Could you just run every day, coast to coast, 3-4 times?
You just ran.
Yeah.
Indeed he did. It's that simple. And then how funny it is that people see him doing this and well, there has to be a reason. People don't do things like this for no reason. People do all kinds of stuff for no reason, all right?
A man named Forrest Gump has been running across America.
Forrest Gump from Greenbow, Alabama.
Yeah, he didn't even go home. He went up to Maine and back. Now, at least this is the first time we're seeing Jenny, and she's not in a bad place.
Are you doing this for world peace?
Are you doing this for the homeless?
I'm doing this because Jenny got me a new pair of shoes, and I just need to test them out.
I just felt like running.
And that. He really felt like running to run that long.
Here's somebody who has the answer. I'll follow you anywhere, Mr. Gump.
The answer is running. He needs to run a little faster. That guy seemed a little crazy.
And then even more people joined in.
You could do absolutely nothing and become like a cult leader, basically.
My mom always said, you got to put the past behind you before you can move on.
Yeah, I guess running is just how Forrest deals with loneliness, trauma, whatever. Grief, losing his mom, getting Jenny back and then losing her again. And now he's done. Just wants to go home.
Quiet, he's gonna say something.
This is not all you. He didn't say anything to any of you. He didn't tell you to follow him. He didn't tell you had some great purpose.
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
Yep, you earned it, Forrest. Go get on a plane. Don't feel the need to run home. You done enough running.
Now what are we supposed to do?
He wasn't telling you what to do to begin with. That was all on you guys. You can keep running if it means so much to you.
She saw me on TV running.
Henry Street is just down that way.
It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, after you've run across the country however many times he did, I don't think you got to wait at a bus stop to go a few blocks.
Hey, Forrest!
Yeah, at least Jenny's in a better place.
This, I got you running.
Not trying to destroy herself anymore necessarily.
I want to apologize for anything that I ever did to you because I was messed up.
It doesn't feel like it could have been more than a year or two between this and the end, based on her son.
This is my very good friend, Mr. Gump.
Hello, Mr. Gump.
A very young Haley Joel Osment, before The Sixth Sense.
His name's Forrest.
Like me.
I named him after his daddy. You're his daddy, Forrest.
There's a moment there where people would worry she's trying to get something, but I don't think she'd do that to him anyway.
There's nothing you need to do, okay? You didn't do anything wrong.
I'm glad she says that. That's important. She just wanted him to know.
Isn't he beautiful?
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Line's coming. It's going to get me.
Is he smart?
He's very smart.
Yep, that's 4.
Yeah, it's okay. Go talk to him.
Doesn't matter how many times. Jenny's finally maybe ready to try to be happy, but a little too late. Now she's just worried about her son being okay.
I have some kind of virus. I don't know what it is, and there isn't anything they can do about it.
I didn't know the historical context when I first saw this movie. All those wild years.
I'll take care of you if you're sick.
Would you marry me, Forrest?
Okay.
And she finally asked him. It had to be so terrifying during that time. It's still terrifying, but when it was new and nobody really knew what it was and there was nothing they could do about it and people were just flat out dying from it and just had to be absolutely horrible, terrifying. There you go.
Lieutenant.
It's going to get me again. We're going for 5 right away. The moment he couldn't see from that hospital bed.
Lieutenant Dan. Hello, Forrest.
We do not know what our futures will be. We just don't.
Titanium alloy.
Magic legs.
You talk about tough years. He's had things happen that I bet he never could have imagined would happen.
Here's my fiance, Susan.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, I declare.
This is my Jenny.
It's nice to meet you finally.
Yeah, I bet Forrest spent a long time talking about Jenny on that boat. It's beautiful. They may not have had it for long, but at least they had it. Family.
Hey.
Just the parallels are a little tough there. This one's so sudden, too, which I kind of think is on purpose.
Sometimes it would stop raining long enough for the stars to come out.
I love this whole sequence. So beautiful the way they lay this out.
Those over a million sparkles on the water.
The memories that he takes from all the places he's been.
It was so clear. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, amazing all the things he would have seen running back and forth across the country over and over.
I wish I could have been there with you.
You were.
He kept you in his heart all that time, just waiting for you to come home.
I love you.
You died on a Saturday morning. I had you placed here under our tree.
Doesn't even matter if you know it's coming.
House of your father bulldozed to the ground.
He just knew Jenny didn't like it.
Little Forrest, you're doing just fine. About to start school again soon.
I'm sorry. I'm sure I'm having to put a bunch of long sections of silence in here. I don't know what else to do. Got nothing to say.
Teaching him how to play ping pong.
He's really good.
Forrest, you go.
Oh, I love that they put that in there.
Every night we read a book. You're so smart.
But then he sends you right back into it.
Each have a destiny floating around on a breeze. Maybe it's both.
Yeah, maybe, Forrest. Who knows? Good a theory as any, really.
I miss you, Jenny.
Couldn't imagine more appropriate place. And then birds fly far away from there.
Know this.
I'm going to serve that for show and tell because Bram used to read it to you.
That was in his suitcase, and there is the feather. But yeah, it couldn't have been that long because he really doesn't seem like he's any older or much older. A year, maybe, a little more. That's all they got, but at least they got it.
I want to tell you I love you.
I love you too, Daddy.
Incredibly important. Tell the people you love that you love them every opportunity you can. You don't know how many chances you get.
Bus to the school now, don't you?
Of course, and you were Dorothy Harris, and I'm Forrest Gump.
She has been driving buses for a lot of years. Miss Dorothy Harris by this point. And we leave the way we came in. Because again, what else are you going to do to end that? You know? But it works. Told you. We would have gone on a heck of a journey by the time we saw that feather again. And that's it. What more can be said? I can't think of a thing. Hopefully I'll think of some things to say. Let's go to the wrap-up. Well, this is my thesis statement, folks. Before we get to the movie part, I just want to say this. I had a little bit of a different vision for this channel, as you may be aware at this point if you've watched me out here for any length of time. I've watched reaction channels for a few years now, and I've really enjoyed it, especially watching classic movies like this that I know well, and seeing how they resonate with people who are seeing them just for the first time now, different age groups, all kinds of things. This is one of the ones that really holds up. But this video I just made is kind of the thesis statement of this channel, that I think there is more to reaction videos than just first-time reactions. First-time reactions are important, but I think there is also something to revisiting movies you haven't seen in a long time with people, and watching some of your favorite movies with people, classic movies with people, movies that you probably know real well, but that are important to you and meaningful to you. And this is a meaningful movie to me. And I feel like I've been through something sitting here watching it with you. So I don't know how to look on camera, but hopefully my argument about there being other kinds of reaction videos that can work is at least somewhat made by a video like this. We'll see. But on to Forrest Gump. Where do you start? What do you say? I'm not going to say there's never been other movies like this. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie that tries to do what this movie did that does it more effectively than this movie. I mean, there are certain things that don't necessarily go as far into historical context and all this kind of stuff as it should. I mean, to say that their little moment with the Black Panther Party is an accurate representation of the Black Panther Party, or the turmoil going on in the country around Vietnam, or any of the rest of it. These incredibly important issues. It's not to say those are, you know, incredibly accurate, great representations of what that time period was. But when you have a movie that you're trying to have a character lead you through these different parts of history and just give you a little, just touch on it briefly as you go, just give you a little moment into these things as you go by, I think it accomplished those things effectively. I think I've heard in recent years there's been criticism of this movie coming up short in certain ways, being short-sighted in certain ways as far as how it's chosen to tell certain parts of the story. I don't remember exactly what the criticism was offhand right now. If you know what it is and you want to let me know in the comments, remind me in the comments what it was. I'd be interested to read it. But looking at it as a whole, and as telling a story, a comedic and very dramatic at times story. A heartfelt story about someone just trying to live a life, trying to find their place in the world, trying to find a way to have the world accept them, trying to find a way to be happy, trying to just be a good person and do good things for no other reason than it's just his nature to do it. Forrest is somebody who, there's not really somebody he encounters whose life he makes worse. Maybe the guy he punched out that hit Jenny, but hell with that guy, he deserved it. He just tries to exist and find a place to exist, people that he can be around where he can do good things, try to help people, try to make people happy. Feeling like he had an obligation to live out this promise he made to Bubba, which really wasn't the promise he made to Bubba. The promise was that he and Bubba would go into the shrimping business together. But I guess he didn't like the idea after he lost his friend in such a horrible way. The idea that Bubba's dream would never come true. And so it's really a beautiful tribute to him and to his memory. It's like, no, this company that we were going to start is still going to happen, Bubba. It's going to happen, and your mama's not going to live in poverty anymore. It's going to change her life. It's going to change all these things for the better, and it was your idea. And even though you're not here to be part of it, even though you're not here to make it happen, I'm going to make it happen. It's a beautiful tribute to his friend. It really is. And his relationship with Jenny. He never changes how he feels about Jenny. He feels the same about Jenny from the moment he sits down on that bus, or the moment he heard her voice, to the moment she passed away. And he never turns his back on her, even though she hurts him in a way a couple of times that would definitely give him justification to. He just wants to be with her. He wants to be happy. And he has to sit there and wait until she's ready to allow herself the chance to be happy. Jenny was so messed up by what happened to her. What happened to her as a little girl. When she moved in with her grandmother, I imagine things improved. I'm hoping her grandmother at least cared about her some, and at least the abuse stopped. We never really hear, I don't think, what happened to her father. I mean, the police came and got her, so hopefully her father went to jail, but I mean, who knows in that time period. He wasn't there anymore, didn't appear, so maybe he died or something by the time she got back to the house. But Jenny's life was just chasing something to make her feel fulfilled, because primarily, it seems like just because she was so damaged from such a young age. She didn't really know how to be happy. She didn't really know how to have any value for herself. I'm not trying to let her off the hook for the way she hurt Forrest. She's responsible for those. But especially that last interaction where she leaves again before they're finally together permanently until she passes. I see that sequence of clips as she's trying to be happy. She's been to the lowest place she can. She almost wasn't around anymore. And she finally was ready to try to turn herself around, but she still couldn't get all the way there. She couldn't allow herself just to stay there and be happy. She couldn't allow herself to feel like she deserved to be happy with someone like Forrest. Maybe she wasn't 100% sure she wanted to be with him, but it seemed like she was. The way she phrased it, you don't want to be with me, or you don't want to marry someone like me. It wasn't an indictment of him. She doesn't like herself. She doesn't think she deserves to be happy. And her running again was her not being able to deal with what had happened, or not being able to accept it. If she had, maybe she would have had a much longer and fuller life with him. Maybe she would have had that chance. Jenny was always running from something. But at least they got to have the time they did. They finally did get married, and they finally, even if it was only for a year, a few months, maybe a little over a year, whatever it was, they got to have their time together for at least a little while. There's just so many emotional moments in this movie that are done so well. One that I haven't paid attention to in a while, quite the way that I did this time, and I mentioned it when we were watching it, when he's telling her all the things he saw. And he has a memory from his time in Vietnam, and he has a memory from his time on the shrimp boat, and he has a couple of different memories from his time when he was running. Just beautiful moments, beautiful scenery he saw, this kind of stuff, and tells her that she was with him. It's just the way that scene is laid out, the way that little sequence, that little quiet sequence is laid out, is just so beautiful. And for them to share that moment leading up into you died on a Saturday morning, it just happens, which is how death happens. Well, I didn't like this movie at all. It's the worst movie I've ever seen. I don't think I could sell that no matter how hard I tried. It's a wonderful movie. I love this movie. It does everything that it tries to do very effectively. If you have criticisms of the movie, Put them in the comments. Let me know. Or if you love the movie too, or if you're anywhere in between, let me know how you feel about it. I'm very interested to hear. And I very much appreciate you sitting through all of this with me. This has been a long journey, and I'm going to go ahead and let us end it here. Wanted to go ahead and make sure to tell you to go have a look at the Patreon. The full-length reaction to this movie will be available over on the Patreon. There's other full-length reactions to movies over there. There's exclusive full-length reactions over there to TV shows we're watching. All kinds of good stuff to see over there. I hope you'll stop by and check it out. Everything over on the Patreon is free for the first week after it's posted, and then it goes into its Patreon tiers. So be sure to go over there and have a look. And if you'd be so kind, please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button over here. Click the bell so you can see when I'm putting out new videos. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for watching this movie with me. And I will see you on the next video. Take care.